Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how you can make a good profit margin off these little Chinese pit bikes here. I'm going to be telling you what you need to do and how you can actually make money off these. I'll show you here. I need to move all this stuff out of the garage first so I can have a little room to work here, but we'll get into it. Alright, I'm going to tell you a little backstory on how I got all this stuff. It started with $40. $40, I bought that. It's an LTZ 250 quad sport, I think it's an 03. I bought that for 800 bucks. I just bought this, picked this up for 300. The Warrior outside I bought for 700 off a guy. Lives about 2.5 hours away, but all that started with $40. The first $40 I had, I spent on American Racing Mustang wheels. I think they were 18 by something. I don't know. I bought them for $40 and flipped them for $250, and that was the first time I ever flipped something, so I was pretty happy on the profits. Then I started to get into like truck rims and stuff like that. So after I sold all those wheels, I had about $1,100 to spend on pretty much anything I wanted, and I wanted to continue doing what I was doing just for the simple fact I was making money. I'm 15 and I'm making all this money. So I bought a 1998 Yamaha Warrior. It wasn't running and it needed cleaned up. If I have pictures, I'll put it in, but I sold that after I was done cleaning up and fixing it. I made $1,000 off that, just that one four-wheeler. So this is a good way to make money if you're still in school or just need a side job. This is where it's at. If you're any type of mechanically inclined, I mean, this is easy work for easy money. Anyway, the backstory on this is I bought it off my buddy for $300. He bought it and didn't really need it, didn't ride it much. It didn't really run good when I bought it. It didn't start right. We put an inline fuel filter on. Me and him put a spark plug in it, and it needs brake lever. It doesn't have a clutch. It's 2018 SSR 125. Doesn't have a clutch. It's fully automatic. Doesn't even have gears. It needs a front brake lever, a rear tube, and back brakes, the brake pads. So that's what we're gonna do today anyway. And after that, after I'm done with all that, this thing's ready to go. I might clean it up a little bit. This thing's ready to go on Marketplace. But like I said, after I get done with the tube, back brake pads, and just the brake lever, this thing will be ready to go out the door. And I'll make, you can make anywhere from $100 to, sky's the limit on these things. Whatever guys will pay. Wherever you live, it's different. But, yeah. I'm going to set you guys up and move the pit bike so I can actually work on it. I got too many toys for one person, per se. I'm waiting on parts to come in for the 250 and the Warrior outside. I got the parts in today for the SSR, so I figured I'd just make a quick video on how I make money anyway. So let's get into it. I'm gonna put a ratchet strap to the little jack stand there. I don't have a dirt bike stand, so I just use the jack stand to keep back tire off the ground. It helps, it works. But I'm just gonna ratchet strap it there over the seat. Alright, first thing I'm gonna do is take the back tire off and get that new tube put in. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna do when taking the back tire off is, this is a 14. You wanna put that on that bolt there. And this is a, what is this? $17. And you just want to loosen this bolt, this nut off this bolt here. That, and then that'll leave you with a wobbly back tire. Alright, after you got that nut off, you want to get your tensioner, and you want to keep these in line because they just get messy. So that's what it'll look like afterwards, after you get that nut off, just that. And you want to wobble your tire. I can't really do it with one hand, but you want to wobble your tire till you can pull this bolt right out. It's about an 8-inch bolt from there to there. So just pull that out, and I'll try to get that on camera here. See if I can show you guys. Just like that. Now these are your spacers. You want to make sure you don't lose those. That's what keeps your tires straight on the swing arm. So don't lose those, they're important. Next thing you want to do is get your chain off. So all you have to do for that is move your tire forward, pull the chain off the sprocket. There you go. Next thing we're going to do is take the tire off the wheel, the rim. Be careful not to bend your disc under here. That'll cause trouble when you grab the front brake or the rear brakes. So just be careful with that, but I'll show you here how to take the tube off, or the tire off. If you have access to lubricant, any kind of lubricant helps get the tire off. Alright, it helps if you get the tire off the bead here. Just a hammer or something, just knock it off. The bead is off the bead on both sides. Time for lubricant. Just rub it right across in there. And do that around the whole tire. Alright, just grab a screwdriver, pry it in there. Doesn't really matter because my tube's popped anyway. Alright, just work your way around, like I said, keep on screwdriver in. Get on the other side of the sprocket. Tap it in. Now it should be pretty simple, just work your way around. After you have the tire off or on the outside of the wheel, go to your valve and take your plastic cap off here and get a socket or a wrench, whatever you have. Take that nut off, thread it off there. Here's your tube. I guess it doesn't matter if you rip it, if it's already ripped. Almost have it here. Okay, once you have a hold of it, just work your way around. Start on the opposite side of your valve. There's the old tube, dry rotted and everything. I ripped it there, but it was leaking, it wouldn't hold air, so gunk. Alright, we just got the new tube out of the packaging. That's what, pretty simple, basic rubber tube. Leave your inside of your tire up here. That'll make things go a lot easier.
Should look like that.
Alright, push your valve stem through. And don't lose your nut, because that would suck. Just thread that on there. Like so. Not too tight because you want some play in it, but now you have to work your tube around. And don't pinch it, because that's where you get into trouble. Don't pinch it, but just easy. Push it down in the tire.
Just like that.
Alright, once you got the tube in, just go around with your hand. Make sure the tube isn't pinched or twisted in any way. Make sure everything's good. And that feels alright. So now we can go put the bead back on and then fill it there, and it'll pop it on the bead, and just like that. Alright, now I'm just popping it back on the bead here. Put the tire back on the rim, like I said, work around. Alright, just grab an air and just, you'll see it pop on the bead here. It is on the bead, ready to go, just like that. I'm gonna change your brake pads. Just push that piston in, like a C-clamp. I'll show you here. Okay, just take your C-clamp, hold it there, push on the back of it, and then just tighten it down. Just like that. You can see it moving. And she's fully compressed. Now you can just take that off. These should come off. And I have my new ones here, I'll show you. Hopefully they fit, hopefully they're the right ones, but they're shot. That's why the rotor looks like it does. Alright, we got the brake pads sitting in there good. That's pretty easy. The other ones, compared to that, major difference. It actually has a pad on it, this had nothing, so. Now we're putting the bracket back on. Make sure everything's good. Get your ratchet. Torque it down. Should be ready to go. And then your dowel goes through there. And that's adjustable. Alright, now you don't really have to worry about that. Just make sure it's put in place. Get your tire lifted up and on the chain. And you can kind of put your tire on the chain here. And hung up through here. Disc. Okay, so you got a spacer in there. Push it through that bearing. Make sure this thing is like that. And you got another spacer you gotta put on over here before you put the wheel on. This spacer, or bushing, whatever you want to call it. Pull that back through a little bit. Push that through there. And get your bracket down there. Sort of tight. Once you get your bracket through, push up, push right through that. There you go. And then this piece. And to keep that tight, here's a little trick for you. Fold the cloth up, something about a finger or two thick, and roll it in your chain, and that'll keep that seated tight while you're working there. It happens through. Make sure your tensioners are on right. Now you can move that back, just like that. Grab your nut. Oops. Get your wrench on this side. And your socket, what's that, 17? Get your socket.
You need to tie it back more if you want more tension on it.
You want to torque that down. Everything's tight. Now once you have everything tight, just roll your wheel forward, get that towel out of there. And then if you want your chain tighter, you can do that later, but now your tire's back on, caliber's seated. After you have your caliber seated, you squish it on a couple times. Works good. He's filling it up. I just trimmed the fuel lines because it was sticking out awful bad. So fuel lines are good now. He's putting gas in it. And the thing that's weird about this thing is the 2018, but it has a key, and there's no gears at all. It's no clutch, no gears. It's just a key, and it's automatic, like a mini bike. But now the back tire's on. I tightened up the chain. The wheel when I got it was awful cockeyed, so I just tightened that up. This wasn't, the tensioners weren't even at all. This tensioner's like full way in, and this one's like all the way out. But pretty straight now, if you ask me. I'm gonna start it up and show you guys. He just spilled gas everywhere. It was awesome. That's good for it.
Well,
Yeah, that's whatever. Alright, the camera's about dead, but here's the key. Put it in, make sure that's on. Pick the back end up. Runs good. Alright, thanks for watching. That's how you can flip a Chinese dirt bike easy and end up like me, have all sorts of quads everywhere. But the only thing I need to do to it yet is get the front brake ordered, or front brake lever, and then it'll be ready for market, and I'll have some cash in my pocket. So see you guys later.